All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to Chat Room with Max. You're welcome to Chat Room with Max. Good evening. As you can see, we did not even start with the regular intro that we would always do, because today we have in fact, we're going to be talking from two sides of the world. We're going to be talking from the Nigerian perspective and from the United States perspective. So, welcome in, everybody. What do you think about this planned protest that is about to happen? Why do you think the protest is happening? And do you think any good will come out of it? That's questions from the Nigerian side. Now, questions from the United States side. With what happened to Donald Trump, the pew pew that happened. Why do you think that happened? Who is to be blamed? Do you think the United States hold people accountable to their mistakes or their errors in office? Well, to do justice with me today will be the one and only Stanley. He is a good brother and he's joining right now. Welcome in, Stanley. Welcome,
Hey,
welcome,
good
welcome.
evening, everybody. Good evening, Max. How are you all doing?
Oh, we're good. We're good. How have you been, sir?
Doing very well, doing great. Had a great week. Hope you
Yes,
did.
that's great. That's great. So,
Yeah.
Stanley, we are talking about, first of all, we're going to talk about two issues. Um, issue that is bordering around Nigerian concerns, which is
Mhm.
the planned protest. I think they said it's going to start on the 1st of August,
Yeah,
right? So
right.
we're going to be talking about that, and then we're also going to be talking about the issues in the United States of America. With the attempted assassination of the ex-president Donald Trump. So, which one do you want to go first with?
Well, anyone is cool by me. I'm ready to get on.
All right, let's start with international. Since you and I are both in the United States, let's begin with the international scene. So, the planned protest that is scheduled for the 1st of August will be is actually facing some oppositions from the government itself and also from security services, where people stated that the people who are originally orchestrating this protest outside the country and are doing it for a bad reason. They're actually saying that Nigerians are trying to emulate what happened in Kenya, and Nigerians are saying no to that. So, Stanley, what's your take on these planned protests? Why do you think people want to protest? And do you think people actually do have the right to protest?
Well, again, thank you for having me on the show. Yes, I think Nigeria is way overdue for a protest at this point because what has happened or has been happening in Nigeria, if you take 1/10 of it, it's enough to cause catastrophe in many other countries that are civilized. Nigerians have gone through so much, they have endured a lot that they really need to push back at this time. You know how it is commonly said back at home that when you push, I would say, goat, for example, this time, and it gets to
Mm,
the wall, there's nowhere to go to. The goat will push back.
mm,
So Nigeria is way overdue for a protest. Now, do the citizens have a right to protest? Of course. It's enshrined in the Constitution that the citizens have a right to protest if they feel there is a need to. Nigeria is a country where the law is not properly or uh, correctly upheld. So they want to push back on what the citizens are asking for. And why they are protesting? The economy is bad. There is hunger in the land. Let's put everything else aside. In fact, I would even say bad governance, put it aside. Hunger alone, the economic situation in the country is enough from what we are hearing and what we are seeing is enough to cause a protest in the land. So, yes, they have every reason to protest. There's hunger in the land. Things have skyrocketed. There's inflation, insecurity. The list is long. And the government seemed not to be doing anything about it. So now they have decided to come together and say, no, we have to put a stop to this. Most especially since they saw our Kenyan brothers and sisters who stood up and protested just for one thing. And the Kenyans have been going through some of what we are dealing with, not up to it. Now, I would not say up to a quarter of it.
Oh, no.
And what pushed the button for them was that tax hike that their government planned to put on them from the $80 billion it was planning to borrow from China. And the people revolted. They said, no, we will not allow this. We're not going to pay for it. And we certainly will not let our children pay for it. So the Gen Zs picked it up and they got the result that they wanted. Yeah. Now, the Nigerian aspect, the protest that they are planning, is it going to yield any result? It has yielded some good results, based on my opinion right now.
In what way?
So you see the tension within the government now, that they are all running away from Nigeria. On Friday here, the day before yesterday, there were many reports and videos and pictures of Nigerian politicians that swarmed the airport in Abuja and Lagos and other cities where they have international airports, all with tickets to jettison out of Nigeria because of the planned protest. Number two, the House and Senate already scheduled a recess for them.
September.
6 weeks to start, fortunately, on the 1st of August as well. So they are not going to be there. They know that this thing will go, if it goes out of hand, they are the target. And they saw what happened in Kenya, how their legislators were handled. So none of them nor their family members they want to be around. They have to run away. So yes, those are the results that it has yielded. And then for the president to come out and speak and summon meetings between cabinet members, traditional rulers, and so on and so forth, shows that yes, they know the impact of this. They are afraid. They know that if the people get out of control, this government might be the past if care is not taken. So there are many results that it has yielded. Now, the question is, will they be able to push through and get a good answer from the government? That is yet to be seen. So let's wait. I already have some areas that I fought to protest. It was planned differently, but we'll talk about it as the show goes on.
So actually, I was while I was doing my research, I was meant to understand allegedly that some part of the government started flooding money, to the constituents to get the youth, some fraction of the youth, to come out and say, oh no, we are not protesting, no, we are against protesting, we're not going to do it. So for me in particular, I think it's a bold move. I think it's a bold move by the youths of Nigeria. And I think it's one that is needed, especially with what's going on in the country today, where you have everything just shooting up and nothing is ever coming down. That's it's appalling. It's appalling, So for those of you watching right now, let's know your opinion. Do you think it's right for the Nigerian youths to embark on this protest that is slated for August 1st? Do you think it's a right move? And do you think that things have gotten so bad in Nigeria that actually a protest is well deserved? And please, let's know where you're watching from, and we will definitely give you a shout out. Okay. And as we always do on the show, don't forget to pretty much like where you're watching this from. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Do not forget to hit the notification tab so you know just whenever we're on. And lastly, don't forget to share, okay? Share. Listen, do us a favor. Do you a favor. Just share this, what you're watching right now, to 1 or 2 persons in your WhatsApp group, and we'll go from there. So, as I was saying, I think I think it's bad everywhere, right? The economic situation, economic hardship is everywhere. But where you have people abusing power to pretty much fund their lifestyle, I think it's a problem. You know, your
Yeah,
country does not have the money. People are suffering. People are wallowing in poverty, and yet private jets are going everywhere.
yeah.
People are enjoying, some set of people are enjoying their lives to the fullest as if nothing bad is happening in the country, and then you do not want the people to protest. I don't think it's fair. And for me personally, I'm not against protesting. I'm all in for protesting. What I'm against is the violence that ensues due to the bad side, or the people that will come and want to now mess that protest up.
As it is right now, it will be any well-meaning, well, I guess I shouldn't use the word well-meaning. Any Nigerian right now who decides to come to oppose the protest may be doing so foolishly or
Mm,
unaware of the consequences of their opposition to the protest. The reason I say so is this. Uh, the economic situation is biting and it's really hard. Everybody feels the pinch, whether you're from the slum or you live in the city or on Banana Island somewhere. Everybody feels the pinch.
yeah,
So for you to come out and say you want to oppose the protest or you want to be a gang member that will come and disrupt the peaceful protest as planned, you are beyond way of simple reasoning, foolish, in my opinion. Because no matter what they give to you or gave to you or will give to you
you.
to oppose this thing, it will not last you 24 hours,
Mm,
considering how expensive things are right now. So to stand in opposition, yes, the government has these tactics they play, allegedly, and there are other parties who may have received a tip or two in terms of cash, financial, um, let me use the word bribe for lack of a better word, to
mhm.
say, hey, go set up a group to come stir up strife so the army can be drawn or what do you call it, released to go and uh, shoot at the people or do whatever. But you see, the government understands that what they are doing is wrong,
Yeah,
number one. They know that the people are suffering, number two. And they know that they are not there for the good of the people. Their intentions are not right.
yeah,
But they just want to keep the people under abject poverty, weaponized hunger, so to say, against the people so they can continue their looting process of the natural resources of the country, which belongs to everybody. So
mm,
if you come out to oppose the protest, by the time you get back home, the maybe 1 million naira they give to you each would be exhausted before 3 months is over, and you're
dream.
back to square one again. So I think that it will not make any sense for you to oppose the protest, even if the government mobilize its own touts to get there and begin to loot, so they
Mm.
can say, "Oh, you see, they said it was going to be a peaceful protest, but look at them now looting and breaking stuff," and use that as a means or reason for coming against the people. So I think all Nigerians should use their brains at this point. Whatever
Let
you do,
Yeah, sorry.
when you get out of the house in the morning, do everything necessary to make sure you come back home after the protest
Yeah.
each day.
Let's quickly take a case study of what happened during the End SARS protest. You could see clearly that there were some other sect that were engineered to come ruin the whole thing, so the
Yeah.
military and the police and law enforcement would be drawn in and just scatter the whole thing, and that was done. And pretty much that has always been the tactics, the moves. So in this case, I think serious work will have to be done, because we don't want things spiraling and getting out of hand, and then it's now
But
bloodshed.
if you look at NSAS in 2020, did you
Yes.
notice that it was a peaceful protest? There was no looting, no destructions,
So people
nothing.
were enjoying their lives, doing protests and having music concerts.
People
and
were
eating
cooking,
jollof.
eating jollof, drinking water. It was peaceful until they brought the touts in. And the reason for that, nobody knows. And NSAS, if you remember, the protest started from Warri, Benin, and then into Port Harcourt, and then Lagos finally. And Lekki became very, there were a lot of casualties that were recorded because the army were drafted to come out and shoot at the people, you know. But this time,
yeah,
I think one best suggestion I'll give to the people is this: keep an open eye for those who are coming to cause trouble and point them out to the police if they are there protecting, so they know exactly who's doing it. And secondly, when the protest is going on, please go live. Put your cameras on.
Please,
yes. Everybody can be seen. And we'll know exactly who caused any problems, if at all.
Charge your phone, carry your power bank, carry your generator.
Yes. Go live. Be on the internet.
So let's take some comments real quick, and then we're gonna continue with this conversation. So we have Dan Davy in the house. Dan Davy says they have bribed top youth leaders. Okay. We have Uzavik in the house. He says, hello, my people. Good to see you guys. Well, Uzavik, good to see you too, sir. How have you been? Been a while. He furthermore says, it's about time Nigerians take the bull by the horns. I am in support of the protest, 101%. I wish there was a Nigerian embassy here in Boston. I will be in front line come August 1st.
There's one in New York, right?
You can use the one in New York, sir.
Yeah.
You can use the one in New York. It's not too far. It's like 4 hours drive. I can drive from here.
Right.
Healthy Jesse Chops says, good evening, Minister. Hi, Healthy Jesse Chops. She furthermore says, even the police are not smiling. We'll talk about that very soon.
Right.
She furthermore says, they are trying to stop it already. Well, yes, of course. They are going to do their best to stop the protests. They're going to try so hard. The bad thing, Stanley, is this. The people that they are using to stop this good that is about to happen, unfortunately, are even the ones that are suffering the most.
And they were the ones that elected them or went to vote for them.
Yeah.
They supported them when they got in the first.
How? Let's see if our technician can just cue this video up for us just listen to real quick, and then we'll go from there. But in the meantime, Sam Soft says hi. He's not in town.
What's up, Sam Soft? Is he watching?
No, he's not. He's actually in a concert at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's not demonstrating. He didn't go to Nigeria to try to demonstrate, but I'll advise him. Well.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can take this video. So I see some comments coming in. Guys, keep bringing in your comments. Let your comment rain down the comment section. We're going to take every single one of your comment as they come. Okay. So just let your comments come in before we take this video and continue with our conversation. Don't forget, we're going to be talking about Nigeria, and we're also going to be talking about what happened in the United States, very recent, as we do our best to bring you news as they are happening. You know, we got to make sure that you're well catered for, both nationally and internationally. Stanley is in charge of sitting there in front of the TV, following news, Nigerian news, while I'm in charge of the American one.
Right.
South is in charge of the Kenyan one and the Malawi one, all those other ones.
Right.
So before we continue, Stanley, sir, so what do you think the youths in this case should be demanding for when it comes to bad governance? Because I don't think unseating the president is one thing that would happen in this protest. I don't think it will happen. What do you think they should be demanding for when it comes to bad governance, sir?
I think the first place to start from is to demand for an immediate drop in the price of food items. That's the good place to start. I heard and listened to the 14-point agenda that is floating around on the internet right now as it states their request. A lot of those, I think, are undoable. The government will not do them, even if they protest from now to the end of August. The first thing that is doable that they need to demand for as a starting place is the immediate reduction of food prices nationwide. And then they can begin to bring that list in. Other things can follow. You know, the approach that the Kenyans use, I really applaud it. When it was announced that the taxes would be going up because they want to borrow that money from China, they will be the ones to pay. The government was going to increase taxes, of which they had increased others before. But when they announced that they would increase taxes again because of this loan they are collecting, the people said, no, we want that tax taken off. We're not going to pay for that one. And they blocked the government, so to say, their politicians. They called them all the names that our Nigerian politicians are calling our youth right now.
It showed that the government of this country has money, really. Is this... I thought people...
Sorry, our technician decided to do his thing now.
No worries.
Yeah.
They came out on the street and pushed back, and the government thought they were joking. But when they saw that the people were serious, the president was quick to backtrack on the tax increase and said he was not going to do it anymore. And what followed next? They started adding more items to the list. And today he's fired his cabinet, or most of them, if not all. And they achieved that plus more. And now they are asking the president of the country to resign. That's the next thing. So you see, they started with one, achieved it, and added more to the list. They got them. And now they're asking for the president to get out because they don't want him, because they lost, 36 protesters during that protest.
Yeah.
They felt like the government was not in their best interest, or the president was not in their best interest, so they want him out. Many of their politicians have resigned. A lot of them did it on social media. They posted videos. So they had good results from what their demands were. So I think a good place to start is going to be to ask for an instant reduction in the prices of food. If the people get food to eat now on their table, they'll be able to think and reason out other things. But if you want to start with those other ones on the list, those are hot topics that the government is not willing to compromise on right now. But I think they are good, they are needed, but it will yield no result if you're hoping to get something out of it from this protest.
Okay, let's take this comment from Uzovic, and then we'll continue. So Uzovic says, the injustice is ridiculous. Talk about the insecurities, hunger in the land, poor salary wages, and the list goes on and on. It's about time the government is held accountable. He furthermore says, okay, my brother, New York foul. But yes, I do agree with your point, Zavik. He furthermore says they should start from raising the minimum wage and reduce cost of gasoline for a start. These two, at least, is doable. Reason why I agree with this plan is this. Actually, Stanley, to your point, a traditional ruler, I've forgotten what town that is, or what state that is, but he went to the market and told all the market women not to sell their items beyond a certain amount of money. You know, just in a way of curtailing the inflation. But I don't think that's fair to the market people either, because when you tell them not to increase their prices, are they not going to use transportation to go get those items?
Well,
you know, are the prices from where they are buying it not going to be higher? So technically, to me, that's like you asking them to just shut down their business.
The government has way. Again, you see, you bought that bag of rice. Excuse me. You know the practice in Nigeria. If they bought, say, for example, I'm a dealer in rice, and I bought 1,000 bags of rice. at 1,000 naira, for example, each, right? And then the government makes an announcement the next minute and says, taxes have gone up on import duties by 100%. Guess what? I will inflate my rice. If I was planning to sell it at 1,200 naira per bag, I have a right to shoot it up to 10,000 because the government has announced that import duty rates are going up. But mind you, I bought it at 1,000 naira per bag. My profit is counted within the 200 naira I was going to put on top. But because the government has announced now some kind of increment somewhere, I have jacked up my price over 1,000%, hoping to make that much money. And even if the government comes back the next second and says, oh, you know what, it's not going to go up by 100% anymore. We're bringing it down to 20%. Guess what? I won't even bring my price down below 8,000. That's serious price gouging. And our people are notorious for doing that. So, yes, if the king or the government asks them to reduce their price, their profit already has been built into whatever amount it costs them to put those goods on their shelves. If they are going to be human and think for the people, it could be a dialogue to say, okay, well, we bought these things at this rate. If you are asking us to reduce it below what we would have made our profit margin from, may not be fair. We can keep it where we bought it before and cut out that excesses that we added on top. It's being human, and also the government can think of subsidizing it. So if you think you're going to make a loss, I'll tell you what, for your 1,000 bags of rice, if you're going to sell it, if I ask you to sell it at 800 naira, for example, per bag, I will pay you 200 naira on top to make up your 1,000. But let the people get it at below that price so we can ease up on the pockets of the people in the community. That's how I think it should go. So they won't lose either way,
I see some challenges in coordinating that, because don't forget, my brother, it's a committee they are going to set to give them money to go and pay that extra 200 you're talking about. And how I like to pocket money in Nigeria. So
well, yeah, I know that the Nigerian factor, of course, kicks in. That's true. But there are ways.
Uzavik responded to you and he says, reducing the price of food items will be kind of challenging. These guys bought their stuff at a high cost. Telling them to sell for less wouldn't be fair. So what I actually heard and what I actually think might be an idea that might work is reduction in fuel price that the government has control over. Reduction in fuel price. Don't forget, in Nigeria, once petrol go up, everything else has gone up. Even things that don't have anything to do with petrol will go up. So reduction in fuel price. I think they increased their minimum wage now to 70,000 or 75,000. Which one was it?
70,000.
To 70,000. They were requesting for about 200 and something thousand, but they stopped at 70.
I think that was a bad approach, though, in my opinion. That wasn't necessary. They needed not to ask for an increment in minimum wage.
Why? Minimum wage was like 30-something thousand then.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. Yeah, I understand that prices went up.
But so why do you think it doesn't make sense to ask for minimum wage increase?
Well, no, because the moment your minimum wage goes up to 70,000, your landlord is already telling you, okay, your salary is up now, your rent don't go up. Or the market woman will say, oh, well, government has given you more, so the price is up, So it's not going to help. What they should have asked for is a good control on prices. And yes, like you rightly said, fuel price is a good way to start. And then, two, cut out the taxes on import duties, since Nigeria relies mostly on importation. Yeah. Cut out the taxes for those who are importing. And let us know how much you got these things. We'll subsidize it. I tell you what, even if the people think that they would have a loss, the government can very well subsidize the prices if they mean well for their people, the food prices. If you cut down or reduce gasoline price, of which they are making a killing out of it, the money you're throwing in jets SUVs, prayers that you're sending in the pockets of your legislators,
the email prayers,
the email prayers.
Mm.
Put all of that to subsidize for the price of food for the people. That's a better way to look at it, rather than saying you're increasing minimum wage. It's not grand. In fact, it's an insult when you look at it. Increase the minimum wage. Do you know how that? I did a quick breakdown on that minimum wage. Remind you, when the Nigerian government speaks, they are quick to make reference to Western countries. Oh, you know, the folks in the West are paying the same amount for gas as we are paying here. So don't think that it's any way higher. But guess what? The bag of rice does not cost the same in the West as it is in Nigeria. The income of the people in the West far outweighs those in Nigeria.
And even job opportunities.
And even job opportunities too, far are more exceeding in the West than in Nigeria. So if you increase your minimum wage to 70,000 a year, do you know how much that equates to? If you want to go by hourly rate, it's about 56 cents an hour.
Yeah.
It's an insult.
Big insult.
I was talking to, and I'll end with this. I was talking to a guy in Nigeria. I said, do you know that the cleaner, your cleaner who cleans your office in Nigeria, is a friend of mine who owns a business in Lagos? How much do you pay your cleaner that cleans your office every day in Nigeria? It's always 30,000. That, in fact, even that one said he just increased it because of the economic hardship. Oh, okay. So you pay them 30. Do you know that a cleaner here, if you want to go equivalent, makes about $3,000 a month? Compare that to your 30,000 that you are paying them. Multiply. We're talking about $1 million plus, and the guy's green. So you cannot measure or put on a scale what the income of the Nigerian people are versus those in the West, and use that to measure what they pay for goods and commodities in the West versus Nigeria. It doesn't balance out. So 70,000 naira is a big slap on the face, considering what the legislators are pocketing every month.
But I was listening to the Senate president when he said everybody that has a staff under them would have to pay their staff 70,000 minimum wage. And in my head, I'm like, does that mean that they're going to exponentially increase the salaries of the people that are working automatically? Because if somebody that is working now and earns 100,000 has an employee under them, let's say a driver or a security or a gate man or a cook or a nanny, and you were paying that nanny 15 to 20,000 every month, while you were making 70 to 100,000. Now that they have increased minimum wage to 70,000, will you automatically now take your gateman salary and make it 70 while you are making 75? You will not have 5,000 to live by. That's what the Senate president said. I won't challenge him because I heard him say it. It was live on TV.
But does that not amaze you to see the reasoning of
but he was wrong. He was wrong, though. He was wrong because according to the Constitution of Nigeria, I don't want to start quoting sections and subsections. You know what I'm talking about. But according to the Constitution of Nigeria, you need to have up to 25 staff members under you for you to be able to be held responsible for paying that minimum wage. If you don't, then you're not supposed to pay the minimum wage the government is recommending. So if you don't have up to 25 staff members under you, that's one way that you don't have to pay the minimum wage.
I think that needs to be amended.
It does need to be amended. Why does it need to be amended, sir?
Because it doesn't make any sense.
Please explain further.
So if I have less than 25 staff working for me, I can pick and choose whatever I want to give them. I could say, oh, you know what? Okay, maybe I have 10. Per the Constitution, I must have 25 or more to pay you all 70,000 or so. Guess what? Your salary is still 5,000 for you. Your own is still 6,000 a month. Gardener, your own is 3,000. I don't have up to 25 employees, so I'm not obliged to pay 70,000 naira per month. I think is very stupendous to think about, because the cost of living does not pay attention or take cognizance to who you work for, who your employer is, to see whether they have more than 25 staff to be able to pay you a good amount for you to leave. And in fact, that part of the Constitution is so faulty, because guess what? If I'm a skilled laborer, for example, and you have a vacancy in your place of employment, and I know that part of the Constitution that says I'm subject to earning less than 70,000 if that employer has lower than 25 staff, I would not come work for you, because I know that if I come there, you're going to pay me less than the minimum wage. So I'll go look for an employer who has 25 or more and render my services. And guess who will suffer? That small business or that employer that has less than 25 staff.
How sure are you that it's a small business that will suffer, though? Because
they can't afford it.
You're talking about a place where there is no job opportunities like that. You're talking about a place where people attain the highest level of education, PhDs, and yet they are working as cleaners.
That's why the protest is needed. That is why this protest is needed. A lot of things need to be reformed, from the Constitution to every policies that they have regarding the Nigerian people. We're not talking foreign policies now, but everything that surrounds the life and existence of the Nigerian people in that nation needs to be overhauled again. It makes absolutely no sense what we have on ground, because if you look at the politicians, government officials, traditional leaders, religious leaders, they're on the high end of the spectrum. They get a lot compared to those who are workers and laborers. And like you rightly said, people with bachelor's degree, in fact, let's not even count that, masters, PhDs. If you see what they make compared to their counterparts or colleagues on the other side of the pond, you feel sorry for them. I mean, a neurosurgeon in Nigeria makes about 500,000 naira a month. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
500,000 naira a month.
You know what?
A neurosurgeon in Nigeria. When over here, a neurosurgeon, you don't want to know.
Okay. So let's take some comments before I take some comments. I want to encourage those of you watching on your phones, watching it live on your phones, because I'm getting some messages on WhatsApp. That's because you need to click. There's a YouTube right there when you're watching from. There's a YouTube right below right there. If you click on that YouTube, it's gonna bring you into the show itself. You're going to be able to comment live on the show. So it's not as if I'm just getting your message on WhatsApp. Okay. So let's take these comments real quick, Stanley. Healthy Jesse Chop says, personally, no, okay, that was Stanley. Healthy Jesse Chop says, nothing goes up in Nigeria that comes down anymore. Hey, that's true.
Yeah.
So she furthermore says, Uzovic says, personally, I have minus 0.1 faith in this present government. Nigerians will be lucky to still have Nigeria by the end of their tenure. Whoever will take over the government might have to buy Nigeria back. Who are they selling it to? China.
Right.
Let's keep going. How did Justice says, don't mind those people that they say things wrongly. Even in business, we can't pay up to that amount. Well, that's true. That's a 70,000 naira minimum wage. And the thing is, some people will go and start saying, okay, I heard though that they have increased minimum wage. Now you have to pay me 70,000. Meanwhile, your guy is making 75,000. You're telling your guy to pay you 70,000. Better use your brain before you lose your use your brain, though.
Well,
So
there was a guy that made a joke about this increment, as they said, Musa at the gate packed his bag, and when they were knocking on the gate in the morning to come out, they didn't see Musa, and they called him on his mobile phone. He said minimum wage has gone up to 70,000. If they don't pay him 70,000, he's no longer the Megad. That compound again. Oh yeah. You know, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the show, so I have a caller just calling in. Sam is on the phone. Yes. Hi, Sam. You are live on the show. So, Sam, what do you think about this Nigerian protest? Do you think it's actually something good to do? Do you think the youth should go ahead and do it? Are you in support? Do you think and do you think the outcome is going to be good? What do you think, sir?
Well, right now I feel like they should do it. Although I know it's not going to amount to anything, bring any changes. But even if they do it, I think it's going to be kind of effective in like just letting the leaders know that they are not satisfied with the current situation of the country. And unfortunately, people are going to die. There are people who are going to die on that day that, you know, this is not even like a prophecy or anything. People are going to die on that day, and it's unfortunate. So, but definitely they should do it. I wish I was there. I would do it too.
Wow. So since people will die, I have to add allegedly inside this one. Do you think it's too risky to be done, or people should just forget about it and just, because if nothing will change, why are people protesting?
So changes, when we talk about changes come gradually. It's not going to happen at once. It's not going to happen just because of this protest. But what this protest is going to do, it's going to kind of nudge the leaders a little bit and let them know that, hey, people are not satisfied. People are angry. People are, hungry. So it's just going to let them know that, they can't keep going just the way they're doing things now, staying with the status quo. That's not going to work. So I think that's what protest can achieve. I think that's enough, Unfortunately, like I said, it's not going to do a lot, but it's going to let the leaders know that, hey,
Sam, I have a
power.
Okay, Stanley has a question for you.
I have a question for you, Sam. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. I'm not sure where you're calling from, but do you think right now that the Nigerian government has gotten the message, and do you think the message has sunk in that they are willing to at least have a conversation with the people?
So sorry, I don't know if I got your question correctly. You're asking if this is going to lead to like a conversation, like bringing.
No. Do you think right now that the government has gotten the message from the beat of the people to wanting to protest? Do you think it has had any effect on the government, and that they are willing to sit on the table to negotiate?
Not yet, sir. I don't think it has had any effect yet. Well, maybe a little effect, but not as much as the effect the protest will bring. So I think if they have that protest, it's definitely gonna, affect the government a little bit. They're gonna be a little bit worried. Sometimes they act like they have all the power, but they get worried too. That's why
reports show that they are,
don't do it. Huh?
But report shows that they are all running away from Nigeria right now, as we know it. So don't you think that enough, or that alone is enough sign to show that really they get the message?
Yes, yes, they get, yeah, of course they're getting the message. That's what I'm saying. Like when they hold the protest, it's definitely gonna, kind of, make them worried. I think that's the most effect it's gonna have. But after the protest, things are gonna kind of go back to status quo a little bit. But at least would, I won't say we, because I'm not there, but they would have, kind of nudge them a little bit. You know what I mean? Just to make some changes. However small the changes, it's gonna be. I think
They have even started Big Brother Nigeria now, Seth. So that's what they will use to describe.
Yeah, they started Big Brother Nigeria, and
only
they are doing some festival in Lagos that will shut down the.
You see this government. You see this government there. Nigeria government, smart people. I'll tell you why. They would look for everything possible to distract the people. Everything possible to distract the people.
But would it not be if the people get distracted, then would you say that they really were feeling the pinch of whatever they are complaining about? Because
even if they feel the pinch, even if they are running out of the country, my brother, if a whole end SARS happened and later down the line it's as if nothing happened, what do you think would change?
The reason, so that this part I have to mention at this point, the reason why this thing is so effective, that the government is responding the way they are responding now, is because the North is mobilizing this protest. And the government will not want to jeopardize 2027. And SARS actually started from the South, and the North was not a part of it. With NSAS, they know what to do: roll out the tanks, scare the people, a couple or two down, and they'll go back to their hideouts. But the North, being in the forefront of this protest, puts a scary feeling in the minds of those in the government. And Tinubu himself would not want to jeopardize 2027 because he cannot roll the tanks out to the North to gun down anybody.
Let's take some comments. Some comments are coming in, and we have to let's take some comments. So let's begin from here. Healthy Jesse Chop says, don't mind those people. They say things wrongly, even if we've taken this. We have Hayati Gata. Wow, you don't change your name. Most of African countries are already owned by China, thanks to those so-called leaders. Because of all the money they're borrowing, Abi. He also says most African. Okay, this is a repeat. Ijamite in the house, everybody. She says, welcome. She says, if the government allow the youth to do a peaceful demonstration, there will be no need for violence. Okay, so I'll talk about that very soon. Franco Zed is in the house. It says, the government is used to the previous outcome of any protest. Yeah. So the one I want to actually sit on for a second is this comment by Ijama. And she says, if the government allows the youth to do a peaceful demonstration, there will be no need for violence. Well, I think the aim of every demonstration or every protest is peaceful at the beginning. Most of it is peaceful. But one way most governments, I would not specify and say Nigerian government, one way most government leadership in the government would want to end a protest is by doing what I call a fire for fire method. Where you have a wildfire growing from one side, the best way to quench that fire is by turning on or starting another fire from the opposite side. So this fire comes and burns, and then it burns all the way to the middle and it dies in the middle. That's what most governments do with protest. They allegedly start up another faction of youth that will come and begin to do their own in opposition to these other people. And before you know it, fight breaks out, or it looks as if everybody else has a negative motion towards that protest. And then they swing in to arrest people, massacre people and things like that. That's from my observation, what I've observed so far with protests.
That is very true. When it's a political idea or ideology that they are protesting about, but in the case of Nigeria, it is hunger, hardship. The people are having a hard time living. They can't feed themselves. If you succeed in providing 2 square meals for your family a day, you did well. So at this point, I think it's beyond ideology. The comment that came in is right. If the government allows the people to protest peacefully, there will be actually no need for violence of any kind, because what they are looking for is relief, economic relief that will transpire and reflect on their tables at home, in their pockets or their bank accounts. They are not thinking about policies or ideas or international relations or maybe even taxes.
Stanley, all of those things will only happen in a perfect world. I'm sorry, as long as those lawmakers refuse to cut their own salaries to help the less privileged or help other people, I don't see anything changing anytime soon.
You know, the funny thing is this: people when I hear people say Nigeria is poor, I just wonder why they say that country is rich.
Nigeria have money.
If only you know. Let me give you a breakdown. You see that thing we call crude oil that they take out of Nigeria? How many products do they bring back when they export it to go refine wherever they want to refine it? What do we normally get back? What they pay subsidy on? How many products comes back to Nigeria after that crude is refined? We only know of 2, maybe 3: petrol, diesel, and kerosene. Those 3. But do you know that there are over 21 byproducts that comes out of crude oil when it's refined? The question now is, where have those byproducts been going to? Who do they sell them to? Where is the money they make out of those byproducts? The list is long. So,
my brother, even Dangote that wanted to help Nigeria, and he helped Nigeria at least.
No, I don't think Dangote
would have made this a little bit easier.
No, I'm sorry.
No, he would have made this a little bit cheaper for Nigeria.
I beg to differ. Look, Dangote. No.
Okay. Share your grievances.
Do you know why Dangote is crying out? Listen, it's a simple trick to this thing. Now we are finding out that there is a refinery in Malta that is owned by, according to Dangote, Nigerian NNPC officials.
Yeah.
But now we are finding out as of yesterday that the owners of that refinery or those refineries in Malta are the Tinubus. You see what I'm saying? So the oil is getting out of Bayelsa, Delta, Port Harcourt,
going to Malta to go get
going to Malta to
and
be
the money
refined.
enters our politicians' pocket. That's stealing number one. The money oil is leaving.
That is a grievously punishable crime. And listen, not only that the oil is going out. They pay themselves what they call subsidy on an oil so they are just reaping the country in many ways that we seem not to be looking at.
Is poor.
So Dangote coming into the picture is not, Dangote knows that, hey, I know what you're doing. If you let me get my share of it in this aspect, would be cool. But now they're saying no. And he's crying out foul. He's asking, look, this whole thing, my question to him is this.
Nigeria happened to Dangote.
My question to Dangote is this: are you just finding out now that refinery existed? Why is it now that you're complaining? Because Tinubu refused to give you rights to crude oil from Bayelsa, Rivers, or Delta.
Hey,
you knew all these things since. You've been a part to it. If you really wanted to help the Nigerian people, you would have spoken out long ago.
I'm not Dangote now. I'm not Dangote. Calm down.
I know.
It's not me.
I'm just saying to Nigerians, to the Nigerians who felt like Dangote was coming to rescue them, Dangote did not rescue you with cement. Dangote
Why will he come and rescue with oil?
With oil.
Oil.
Hey, Max, listen to this. And they allegedly, I will use the word allegedly.
So,
yes,
get money for chat room.
But anyone who's watching this now or who will watch it later that lives in the country of Cameroon, please verify this information. I heard this one firsthand from a Cameroonian here. Do you know that the bag of cement we buy in Nigeria from Dangote, that is at what, 8,000 naira now to a bag, is being sold in Cameroon for less than 2,000 naira?
What?
Please verify it.
Cameroonians in the house, please and please
verify that information. How much?
How much
Dangote bag of cement in your country?
How much is Dangote bag of cement in Cameroon? Let's know, because this is.
So you think Dangote was coming to help you with oil?
It's alleged.
It's alleged. Oh, don't.
No.
Find out and let us
come and serve us. Okay,
let's come to help anybody.
Let's take some more comments. Okay, Franco Z says, interesting take on where the protests are being initiated. Very interesting. Uzavik says, these guys in government don't care about the citizens. What Nigeria needs is the right person to govern the nation. Unfortunately, the situation is far-fetched because of corruption by rigging elections. Yes. Franco Z furthermore says, they should just watch out. They should just watch out for sellouts amongst them. My brother, these sellouts will not carry sellout on their t-shirt or on their jersey. It's different, very, very different. During the, in fact, let's just keep going. Healthy Jesse Chop says, okay, she's laughing. She says Nigeria. She's laughing at Nigeria. Nigeria, they laugh at. Ichoma says, what belongs to all Nigerians? A handful of people are just sharing the proceeds. I really weep for my nation. In fact, my thing is this: how will the few have so much power over the many?
Well, you know why? You know what? Yes, in addition to that, the one that really bothers me the most is how they celebrate these people.
Oh God, tell me about it.
I just can't figure it out. Your money, your resources is being taken by them, and when they come, you protect them.
And they'll be spraying, and you'll be running and be picking your own money.
Your own money. Is that not crazy? And you are not upset. In fact, this Dangote issue that just came up is enough to even make the entire Nigeria they're like, look, forget it. Whatever happens, happens. We need to change it. So these things have been going on, and we didn't know about it. And listen, this is just one of the many that we are finding out now. Like that commenter really said, more is yet to come.
Okay,
by the time you hear the level of impunity in Nigeria and how the country is being wrecked by these selected few, you will cry out the tears, all the tears in your body.
This is just traumatizing.
It is.
Hayati says, African nations have never poured the nations. Okay, African nations have never been poor. The nations are richer than other nations. Unfortunately, the leaders are so corrupt. They sell. The leaders are so corrupt. They sell the nation's natural resources and keep the money in their pockets. They don't even just keep the money in their pockets. They ship the money to other countries.
Yeah, it's not in their pockets.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Uzavik says, I'm not surprised about the oil refinery. Won't be even surprised as well if the Naira printing company is now printing for the government personally.
That has been happening now. It's not.
The says they will be running those printing machines on overtime. Well, that's very, very true. So, guys, we were supposed to talk about two stories. Two stories. We're supposed to talk about America and Nigeria, but Nigeria has so many things going on that we're even
it needs attention.
It needs attention. That's why we talked about Nigeria today. We're definitely going to talk about. We're going to give you an update on our thoughts on the protests that will be happening on the 1st. By the time we meet next week, we'll give you an update on our thoughts on the process as it's going on live. We'll talk to you about it, and then we're going to give you updates on the United States, what's happening, how the Secret Service boss was fired. Not she retired. She resigned. How she resigned, why she resigned. Was it right for her to resign? Should they still go after her even after resigning? Do we think that the people that attempted to pew and divide the ex-president were professionals enough? Do we think there were some cahoots in the whole thing going on? Those are some of the things we're going to be talking about next week when we meet. We're very, very sorry we have to run because we've promised ourselves that chat room will not go over 1 hour. Yeah. Mr. Stalisa, thank you very, very much.
It was good having me on the show. If I'm allowed to give a last word to all Nigerians, please. I know by the time we meet again, it will be past the 1st. Whatever you do to go out to protest, please make sure you do the same thing to bring you back home at the end of the day. Your family needs you. If you don't have a family, you need yourself. So come back home.
And from me, all I would say is be wise, be smart, be prayerful, and don't let anything jeopardize your chances of staying alive. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. We appreciate you. Much love. Please and please share the link, share the link, share the link. God bless you. Bye.